All right, and welcome everyone to session. What is this? Session
Two.
two,
It's two, yeah.
five, three
Two.
hundred, two,
Yep.
two. Session
hmm
two of Trials of Solaria Broken Oaths. I am Dare Wolf, the game master, and joining me today are four awesome role players that I've had the pleasure of playing. Some of them multiple games with, one of them one game with. It seemed to go well, other than they were muted for like 50 minutes. But like we remember it was fun, and Axel did a great recap, so we had a great time. But with that being said, no further ado, we're gonna go ahead and just have everyone introduce themselves for the first time, since no one could actually hear about them the first time. So pretend everyone like this is the first time you're introducing your character, and we'll take it from there. Let's start. We'll go from my perspective, left to right. We'll start with Azrael, go to Blau, Axel, and then Chewbacca. Take it away.
Hey everybody, I am Brian. I'm at Mind Over Brian on both Twitter and on Twitch, although on Twitch I spell it with a zero. And I am playing Venwivar Hallowbrand, a sorcerer who has a shady past that we may have delved into a little bit last time.
You're up next, Blau.
Hi there, I'm Blau. I'm playing Eckhard Gerst, a Abadarian war priest, very law-oriented, not so shady path, as I said last time as well.
Glorious. Axel.
Maxel, the recaps are, and I play Mikhael, who is a kitsune entrepreneur. That's their class, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, Chewbacca.
Hi, I'm Drew. I'm playing Bixelank Fizzbald, the gnomish hunter, and his giant weasel Polly. Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, as previously stated, I am Dare Wolf, the illustrious game master that puts these players through trials and or tribulations. Maybe both. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. With that being said, we open our scene with a overview from the south. So imagine, if you will, we are looking at some relatively steep mountains. We see Lake Silver Steep, which is one of the larger lakes in all of Solaria on the eastern side. And then as we come and we sort of, flow and fly over that lake, we come up and over the mountainside. And as we do so, we follow the river, the Varnhold River. And we follow that river up towards the city itself, where we see there's not as much traffic going in and out of the city as you might expect. It seems almost holed up like a turtle that's gone into its shell. You see some movement, you do see some smoke rising from chimneys. You see the occasional guard here and there along the city's walls. The entire city has been walled in. But as far as movement outside of the city, not as much as you might expect for a very large trading hub that Varnhold is. But as we zoom in closer and closer, we actually come to a small, medium-sized tavern, I would say, known as... Go ahead, Axel. What's it known as?
Clumsy Bear.
The Clumsy Bear. There it is. I like to hear you say it because it was your idea, and it's a good name for a tavern. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, we actually zoom in and we go into one of the upper stories. It's a 2-story wooden building with a brick base, so the upper floor is made of wood. And as we zoom into it, we see Venivar. We see him sleeping on the floor, perhaps in a awkward position. It's this hard wood. You notice that you ended up kind of in this little dent area where like it sort of just sunk a little bit, like the floorboards were slightly decreased in. And as you awaken, the first thing you notice then is you notice that there is a smell of sausage, like very, very, like almost syrupy smelling sausage, like it's been dipped in maple of some kind. And then you also smell slightly burnt eggs coming from outside. But as you wake up, your eyes adjust, the light is coming in, as the morning sun is rising. It's not directly hitting your window, but it's just kind of, glancing in. It's striking your legs and knees. They are illuminated in light. We see you rise up. What would be the first thing you do in the morning?
Ven stretches because he's probably pretty stiff. Makes sure that he's like limber. Pats down his robes to make sure that he's still got his purse.
You do.
And then looks around to see whether or not his sister is awake.
As you look to the bed, so you were maybe just a few feet away from the bed where you were sleeping with the little blanket and a pillow. And as you look over to the bed, you notice that it is perfectly made. I'm talking military style. The sheets are tucked in. The blanket on top is perfect, crisp. The pillows are exactly where they need to be. But Odefi is not there. In her stead, in her place, there is a small little folded sheet of paper set on the edge of the bed closest to where you were sleeping on the floor.
Then heaves a sigh and then picks up the piece of paper, shaking his head at the fact that she either left through some window or stepped over him, which means his guard duty was pretty piss poor.
As you open this letter, assuming that you do take it, it simply states, "Back later, don't look for me. I'm fine."
It's going to be very difficult to look out for you or for you to look out for me if you're wandering around by yourself, but whatever. And then we'll tuck the note into his bag and then head downstairs for breakfast.
You go ahead and head downstairs. As you exit out of your room, imagine, if you will, that we zoom down the hallway and we come to the largest, most luxurious suite in the entire Tavern of the Clumsy Bear. Now, saying that it's luxurious, it's like if you had a deluxe bunk bed. They're still bunk beds, right? Like, they're not that comfortable, but they're really, like, it's a nice bunk bed. So you've got a relatively nice size room. It's, most of these rooms are, just no bigger than a single bedroom. This is a bedroom and a half. You've actually got a little vanity where you can get yourself ready in the morning. I know, living the high life here, super classy. And you awaken and you smell the same thing, this rich kind of maple, like, smelling sausage, and then you've got the slightly burnt eggs. But as you awaken, I want you to go ahead and make a perception check, please.
No.
Okay. You are very groggy and don't hear anything, which is probably fine. But what would Eckhard be doing in the morning?
Eckhard would generally wake up and immediately begin morning prayers for probably about 15 minutes to half an hour. And then he would begin to don his armor and do some stretches and head out of the room.
One more perception check, please.
All right.
Well, here's the good news. You're alive. And
Very focused on prayers.
you head out the door. And as you head out the door, you actually hear this female voice from somewhere outside. And it sounds familiar. You actually recognize it as Sarah. She says, "Damn it." And then you hear a elderly female voice. "Oh no, no time to go visit your tax master. We have too much to do today. No, I don't take, oh, yes, let's go, young one." And then they are gone, and it's fine. She was trying to escape from the old woman, but it's neither here nor there.
Yes.
And then, Mikhael, I don't believe we established last session where specifically you were staying. Were you also staying at the Clumsy Bear? Do you have a room here on reserve? What were you doing?
Yeah, I don't think I've lived in Varnhold long enough to have a house. I probably have a house in Sunspire, if anything. So
Had a house,
probably
in Sunspire.
probably
Mhm.
apartment, let's say.
Okay.
Or yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm probably staying at the Clumsy Bear
Clumsy Bear.
long
Perfect.
term.
You wake up, and not only do you smell this maple sausage, but you're also smelling the burnt eggs, as well as this fine aroma of a sort of herbal tea that smells like it's a little bit of mint. There's a little bit of cinnamon in it. It's a weird mixture, mint and cinnamon, but it wakes you up, and that's because of your, obviously, fox nose, and you are just awoken very quickly. Where did you put this topaz, this yellow gemstone that you found last session? Where are you keeping that?
It was stolen from
It was
me,
stolen.
so nowhere.
That's good. That's good. It was stolen from you. So I wanted to make sure you remembered.
Before it was stolen, it was in one of my hidden pockets, but it was found apparently. So
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So with that being said, the reason I ask is that you go to, as you wake up, where is this hidden pocket? Is it on the clothing that you're wearing, or would it be somewhere else inside the room?
well, obviously I'm wearing my nightgown. So it's in my other clothes, my normal clothes that are hanging from like somewhere.
Okay. As you look over to your normal clothes, let's say that there is a clothes hanger, just like some hooks along the wall. You know, nothing fancy, just something to put your clothes on so they don't get all wrinkled and nasty looking. And as you look over in that direction, you notice that the pocket where you had kept the gem, so let's imagine that you're looking at it, it's like maybe the breast coat pocket, just kind of ever so slightly, it's like a kind of pushes out as though there's something inside, something small, maybe like a small creature inside of there, and it just ever so slightly does one of these.
Very interesting. I will stand up like one swift motion and like skitter over and just
From the pocket,
peek inside.
you hear a squeaky voice, as though it is a mouse given the ability to. Mickey. No, I'm kidding. That's not legally distinct. But with that being said,
Don't sue us, Disney.
you hear a voice. I thought it was here. I could smell it. Where is it? Where did it go? I could smell it in here. It had to be here at one point, but it's not here anymore. But where did it go? And you see your coat begin to lift up. It's still on the hook, but just as though if you watch the coat, it kind of lifts up the bottom of it, kind of the edge of it begins to lift up, and you hear this voice again. No, it must be somewhere close. Perhaps he doesn't have it, but perhaps I can find it.
I'm gonna, without looking, I'm gonna just reach into the pocket and just pull out whatever's inside.
So as you reach into the pocket, I'm gonna have you make the most exciting roll of today's session. Make a CMB check, please.
CMB, I'm great at those.
I had a feeling you were.
I'm not really. I'm just really good at lying. Boom.
Now, are you in human form or fox form at this point?
I'm in kitsune form. Let's call it that, because I also have a tiny fox form.
Okay,
which
you are in
is an
kitsune
actual
form.
fox.
So as
Yeah.
you reach in with your furred, clawed hand, you hear the voice again. Ah! Oh, furry paw! No, get off, get off, get off! And then there is a nibbling sensation. Not hard, but a light bite on your left index finger. And then zooming across, you can hear, but you cannot see. You hear the very intense fluttering of tiny wings. And you can feel this kind of brush of these wings. They don't feel like they have feathers on them, more like butterfly wings, that kind of very light, soft, almost fuzzy touch. And as it zips by, you can hear this voice, no touch, rude, 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 rude. And it zips across to the other corner of the room. So you are standing by the door where the hook coat hangers are. And this voice is now up in the corner of the room. So the ceilings are only maybe 8 feet tall. And up in the far corner from you, there is this voice. You cannot see anything, but this voice says, "How rude."
Would I have any of the windows open that need to be closed?
There is
Probably
one
not.
window in your room, and it is slightly ajar, just enough to where a creature no larger than a mouse or squirrel could have squeezed their way inside.
I'm gonna rush over and close it.
Make a
Like
reflex
lock
check.
it. Very well.
18. That's good. That's actually really, really good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a super secret check over here.
It's Vendelfek.
Oh! So, as you rush to the window, you hear that zzz, almost like I would hesitate to say mosquito, but like the very, like a hummingbird's wings is what you hear. And it zips over, and then you slam the window shut, and you just slam it shut. You hear a ow, 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 ow. And appearing before you is a tiny, diminutive, I would say, sized little fairy dragon. And the little tiny fairy dragon, his little right paw is stuck in the window. It hasn't closed all the way. You didn't sever it. That would be quite gruesome. But with that being said, it is stuck in the window and it's fluttering, and you can hear the like if you've ever had a bird stuck in your house and it's trying to get out the window, that's what's happening. It's oh, ow, oh, no, ow, oh, release me, release, oh, ow, oh, oh. It's just zipping around and dipping and dodging and fluttering against the window.
I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to reach into my into my nightgown and pull out a switchblade, and I'm going to hold it close to its face, and with a very unfitting, unnaturally deep voice, I'm going to say, "All right, who do you work for?"
It looks at the blade, then looks to you, then back at the blade a second time, and it stops fluttering. Looks down at its paw, or claw as it were, and then back to you. "If you release me, I will tell you who I work for."
I wasn't born yesterday, little thing. Tell me first, and then you might be let go.
"Well, it's, I..." And then it goes invisible again. But you know it's right where it was. And you continue to hear that flop, 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 flop against the window again.
You're not gonna fool me. You're not going anywhere. And if you don't want this blade stabbing through your wings, then you're gonna talk right now.
It reappears before you, sitting, its paw still stuck in the window. It's sitting, though, now. It has its wings tucked back close. And if you've ever seen a cat, where they put their paws down in front of them and they stand very tall as they sit, and they look very regal and proud, that's how this fairy dragon looks to you in this moment. And it looks you dead in the eye and says, "Where's the topaz? What did you do with it?"
Now, I don't know how you think this works, but I'm the one with the knife. You're the one stuck in the window pane, and therefore I get to ask the questions.
"How do I know I can trust you?"
I don't care. I'm going to kill you.
Wow, that got dark. It looks
Bro.
genuinely nervous, genuinely scared.
Good.
And it begins to shake in fear. And as you hold the blade even closer, it seems to be contemplating its words very carefully. And with that in mind, I'm going to have you make a sense motive check.
Sense motive. All right.
It's hard to read fairy creatures. It really is. But that's okay. I work for the council.
Was the sense motive for that part, or should I make a new one for this? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go. Who specifically?
Blink, blink, blink. Are you an apostle?
Do I look like? No, I'm not an apostle.
I worked for Muriel.
That I would like the sense motive,
Go for it.
if I may.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to read tiny fairy dragons. That's all I'm saying.
All right. And when was the last time you saw Muriel then?
Blink, blink, blink. Blink, blink, blink. I don't remember. There was fire and magic and then I woke up.
I'm gonna close the switchblade. I'm gonna put it away. And then in my normal voice, I'm going to say, well, all right then. I suppose that means that we are allies?
Who do you work for?
I wouldn't be so dumb as to reveal my allegiance, but it is for the good of Solaria and not the apostles.
Okay, can you release me from this window?
Are you going to immediately fly away?
No.
I'm going to place my hand on its paw that is stuck, and I'm going to, at the same time, pull it away and close the window.
Okay.
So that it doesn't have a chance to leave.
It sits there quietly, looking at you expectantly. And as
All
that
right.
scene progresses, we're actually going to pivot over to Chewbacca. Chewbacca, where is Bix saying?
Bix has a corner in the stable that he has a agreement with the innkeeper. He's made like a nice little kind of nook for him there. He doesn't like, rooms and shit like that, but like, he's made up a Bix sized room, sort of, little nest for him and Polly out in the stable.
Excellent. And as you wake up in the morning, Polly is across the way from you. There are several large barrels that you recognize likely hold ale, and Polly is very intently trying to make his way into one of them. And you just hear scratch.
Hey,
Scratches.
Hey, shithead, stop it.
Very
gets up and-
slowly, like a dog that knows it's done something wrong, slinks back, one paw after another, and then looks at the barrel, and then slinks back a little bit more, and then very slowly, crouched low to the ground, makes his way back over next to you, and then is, crouching low and looks up to you with those pleading eyes.
We'll have some ale. We'll have some ale with breakfast, okay?
Perks up. As you awaken then, as you get up, Polly's come back to you. The doors to the stable don't slam open, but imagine there's two, one slides left, one slides to the right. One of them slides open, and entering into the stable is a She almost seems out of place, but she is a royal-looking woman is the best way you could describe it. And what I'm going to have you do is make a quick perception check on her as she enters into the stable. Beautiful. Couple things you notice about her. She is wearing this red bandana on her on the top of her, like across her brow, and you recognize that as being from Brevoy. It's Brevoy made. Now, she herself doesn't look to be from Brevoy, so it's maybe a bit out of place. Now, as she enters in, she has this air of not necessarily superiority, but of I am to be served. I would say superiority, actually. Let's call the kettle black. Superiority. She looks around the stable.
She's got some airs.
Seeing you. She is dressed in a long, very regal, almost like princess-style gown. It looks to be slightly dirty at the edges. You know, she doesn't cast fastidiousness every morning like Eckhard does, but
Under one spell.
she looks around and makes eye contact with you. You there? Stable boy. Tend to my horse.
Yeah, that's not me, lady.
But what do you mean it's not you? You're sleeping in the stable. Of course you're the stable boy.
Some people like to sleep in stables, and I'm not a boy. I'm probably older than you.
Commoners. Well, where is the stable boy then?
I don't know, probably sleeping somewhere.
Very well, I'll do it myself. Useless.
Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt you.
And she leads the horse over. Very ineptly starts to try to finagle it into a stall. It's like, no, just settle down. No, damn it. Stupid horse.
Bix walks over and just puts his hand on the horse's knee, because that's as high as he can probably reach. And tries to calm him down.
Handle animal check, please.
Yep. And there.
Fantastic. You get up to the horse. The horse doesn't know you're there because you move so quietly. It panics and starts bucking. As it starts bucking back and forth, one of its hooves hits the woman in the chest. She is flung backward, striking into one of the, those little doors, those wooden slats that, would provide doorway entrance into, a small little stable area for a horse or beast of burden. She slams there, dropping to her rear end, and appears to pass out. The horse continues to buck and is actually going to take an attack roll at you. What is your AC?
Well, can we do initiative? Because I got plans, man.
You know what? We absolutely can do initiative. If you want to go ahead and roll initiative, I'm going to go ahead and drag your character onto the map.
There's so
And
much action already.
I know.
Action.
We haven't even gotten together. And this is the horse. Looks super angry. Sorry, horse. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm gonna drop into some combat music. So there we go.
Don't forget Polly. Don't forget Polly.
There we go. We got combat music. Polly is off to the side, back a ways from you, and doesn't look like he wants any part of this.
Oh, I'm not gonna involve him in it. I just don't forget he's there.
You see one of his paws come up to his little snout. He just does this. All right, let's go ahead and get some initiatives here. And first up is the horse. Horses have fantastic initiative. It's at 11. Not great.
Oh, I guess I hadn't clicked on my...
what was your initiative? 19?
19.
Well, you are up first then, as the horse appears like it's ready to attack you because you spooked it.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Excellent. Excellent. Go ahead and cast Speak with Animals. The spell goes off without a hitch. You can take a 5-foot step back, cast the spell. What do you say to the horse?
I tell it, whoa, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. You'll be okay, buddy. I'll get you in. You don't have to freak out. Calm down. And just,
Sneaking
you
up.
know,
Sneaking up on people, animals, horses, not unacceptable.
I know. I'm sorry. It was a total accident.
Ryder.
The lady had me
Ryder
had
dead.
me all discombobulated.
Ryder.
It's okay.
Dead. Dead
Wait.
Ryder.
Your rider was dead?
Dead. Dead Ryder.
Are you okay? Who is this lady?
Not right. Not good ride.
Do you know who this lady is?
Lady rides. Not lady. The horse seems very agitated.
Not lady? What is it?
And as that happens, you feel the tingle of magic from in the air around you. And the spell seems to cease. Like you can't speak with him anymore. And all you hear is "Ring!" But the horse seems calmer.
She's still there, right?
She is. She's now standing. She's looking at you very intently.
Fortunately, I was speaking horse, so.
I can see why you're
She
not
might be able to speak whore.
Oh.
Alright, good game, everybody. Now, she, from behind you, is now standing. You can hear the voice come down at you from a upward angle. You go ahead and stop the battle music because the horse never got to attack you, but that was funny. With that being said, the woman, in a very condescending voice, I can see why you're not the stable boy. Useless. I'll take it from here. Beast in the stole. And the horse, with no hesitation, almost robotically, clip, 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 back into its stall. And as for you and your rat, stay out of my way. And unless you stop her, she turns and heads back towards the barn door that she entered through.
Nope. She can go.
And the woman disappears. What else would you be doing this morning?
Well, I promised Polly a drink, so I'd probably get my kit together and head back into the bar for some breakfast and a drink.
Beautiful. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to move over to the not super fancy, but a little bit of an overview of the town of Varnhold so that all the kids at home can see what we're working with. Now, this is Varnhold proper. It's not to scale, FYI, just letting you know. It's not to scale. It's more of just a visual representation. But the inn is located conveniently right across the street from a major cathedral. And then the mint is located on the south side, away from you all, but on the eastern side, kind of nestled in with a couple of other houses, you have the Clumsy Bear. And as Bix exits out, walks around the front and over into the front entrance of the Clumsy Bear. Bix, I'm going to have you make one more perception check for us, please.
Accepting.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. As the woman walks in through the front door, just a few paces in front of you, you notice on her right arm the sleeve of her gown, this dress that she's wearing, ever so slightly pulls up, and you see a serpent-like tattoo whose head ends right at her wrist. And as she goes to enter into the tavern door, you see her pull that down, fix it, and then enter through the front entrance of the tavern. And as you follow behind, we go back into the tavern proper, where we see everyone, not simultaneously, but within a few moments of each other, coming downstairs and likely grabbing a table together. At the bar, you see the proprietor of the Clumsy Bear, Sigbert. Hi, good morning, good morning. Slightly burnt eggs and maple sausage. You're gonna love it. Probably skip the eggs, but the sausage, delightful. It's actually imported from Brevoy when we could import things, which has become a little bit more difficult because of the whole, they're always fighting each other, internal warfare and everything. But good morning! Ha-ha! And there's a couple of other patrons, but y'all have a chance to congregate together and discuss
I'm probably not there yet.
life.
because I still have things to talk
Sure.
about.
So
but
the
yeah.
three of you. Mikhael is not there yet. Or I'm sorry, Bob Humanskin.
Robert
Seems-
Humansson. It's Ulfen.
Ven will try and get a deal on the eggs since they're burnt.
Half off.
Quarter. I'll pay you a quarter
1/3.
of what they're fine. And then he'll prestidigitate them tasty.
God damn it. That's funny. So you all have
Seems
a
our
moment
tour
to sit
guide
down together and
Is yet to arrive. Would you know where he is there, Bix?
No, I don't actually know where he lives. Actually, can I get some of those eggs too?
Hey, you want 2, 3? 1 for the weasel?
3 for the weasel and 1 for me, please.
Hey, good choice. You see your little weasel. His nose is sniffing the air, and at the mention of the eggs, he dives under the table and disappears.
All right, well, when they get there, I also prestidigitate them to taste normal.
The weasel reappears and hungrily eats
come-
his eggs.
Come out here, you big sissy. There you go. And then I would also like the same amount of sausages. 3 for the weasel and 1 for me.
Done.
And Polly's normal bowl of ale, please. I'm good.
It's actually already come out with the eggs and the sausage.
Excellent,
Because
excellent.
they know you're regulars here, of course.
Yeah, coffee.
So there is
Coffee for me, ale for him.
The ordering goes around. Eckhard, you can have whatever you'd like. Venavar, you have your 1/3 cost eggs. He does charge you double for the sausage though, because why
I don't
not?
want any sausage.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Tries to charge
Double
you double
zero.
for sausage, and you say no, thank you.
I have, I just get a double portion of the eggs because I know a deal when I see one, and I don't have a lot of money
That
or a
is
way to make more money.
totally fair.
I'm still playing up being poor.
That is totally fair. And the tavern itself, not very crowded at all. There's the old man yesterday who seemed to be talking to himself in the far corner. He's still at the same table, still seems to be talking to himself. Local crazy man, they just, he doesn't really hurt anybody, he just hangs out. And then there is this redheaded woman that I described to Bix, and she is sitting at the bar, more leaning against it, just kind of doing one of like the double elbows on the counter, leaning in, very impatiently tapping her right hand on her left fist like this. And she waits for Sigbert to get everything done. And then as he completes serving you all, he swings around back to the bar, walks over to her, clump, 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 leans in, and they have a relatively quiet conversation. But I want to give everyone a chance to go ahead and make perception checks to see if you can hear it, because she appears to be whispering, and then he just matches her tone for whatever reason, her volume.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm going to
Eckhard with the win. Love it.
He's awake now.
16. Eckhard, that was actually definitely good enough. And as you are maybe sitting a little bit closer to this conversation, you hear her lean in, and she's asking, I'm looking for someone relatively important. He went by the name of Dokken. Sigbert looks at her up and down. He whispers, well, he's in charge of the musketeers here. He sort of kind of took over last night, so he won't be hard to find. He's likely patrolling the streets. She leans back. Very good. Thank you. Also, could you have your stable boy tend to my horse? And I will take some of the sausage. No eggs. I can smell that they're burnt. Disgusting. Sigbert looks a little offended. Look, lady, I'm cooking about 400 eggs for all the people that are going to be coming in here, so, it's only so much I can do. And they have a little bit of a back and forth. And then she just... common folk. And then she heads over to a booth a decent ways away from the crazy man talking to himself, but she sits down and very quietly waits for her meal.
Do any of you know a Dokken?
Dawkin. D-A-W-K-I-N. Dawkin.
Oh. No.
A knowledge local
Should I?
or nobility would suffice to know that name.
Evidently, that woman is looking for her, and he's the musketeer captain, so I figure there's something going on.
I'm untrained. I forgot.
I'm unsure why a musketeer captain or a woman of clear nobility would be hanging around here other than looking for him.
Yeah, does ring a bell.
Oh, Eckhard shrugs.
And as you all sit and quietly eat your meal, the man in the corner, yes, runes, yes, lords, rune lords, they're all around, they're coming back, come back. He continues to talk to himself crazily. We go back upstairs to Mikhael and the small little fairy dragon. Proceed.
All right. Then you came here for something very specific.
Yep.
How did you know about it?
Let's know more feeling.
So you weren't sent here by someone?
Nope.
I like the sense mode of that as well, please.
It crosses its tiny little arms.
Maybe you were sent here by someone. Who are you working for?
And it tries to lower its voice, but it can't do it very well because its voice is very high pitched.
Who are you working for?
And then it like flicks out one of its claws and like menacingly holds it towards you.
I look at the claw, look back at its face. Still needs work, but keep at it. Are you going to tell me?
It growls
Yeah,
very quietly.
I thought we had already established that we have similar allegiances, no?
Don't work for anybody. Used to work for someone. Not anymore. Used to be a familiar. Not anymore.
Familiar of Muriel.
Slow, very sad nod of its head.
You seem a bit weak for familiar of such great wizard. No?
It looks a little offended at that. Straight up looks a little offended. And it crosses its arms again. And it just very high pitched, but as low as it can go, growls at you.
All right, I meant no offense, of course. Well, a little dragon thing, I regret to tell you that you will not be receiving the topaz at this moment. For many a reason. But if you really want it, then maybe we can discuss something in the future. For now, I have important business to get to. So,
Give me an initiative check, please.
oh god. Very well.
Fantastic. Let me double check something. +3. Moment of truth. Perfect. So in this moment, the fairy dragon narrows its eyes. You hear it say in Draconic, open. The window slams open, and it is out the window in a flash, and it is gone.
All right, come back when you want to work together. Close the window.
It's jammed a little bit. Give me a strength check.
I leave it there.
Glorious. You're able to make your way downstairs.
I know my limits.
There is a cup of very warm and aromatic herbal tea for you at the table. There's also 1 less burned egg and 3 pieces. If you eat meat, correct? Your character eats meat?
Yes.
Excellent. There are 4 pieces of sausage for you.
I'm going to take like a side route out of the inn, and so I can walk in from the entrance.
I like it. You will walk in from the entrance in
my kitsune form.
Oh, in kitsune form, out in the open, just letting it all bear. All right, so Fox Person walks in to the tavern. That's cool.
Yep, I walk in. I go say hi to Sigbert and ask for a sausage.
He gives you the plate.
Nice. And I will look around, and I've already noticed them, but I will pretend to just now notice the table of the other party members, and then I will go, and I will walk over in their direction.
Walking up to the table, I don't know, had you ever revealed yourself as a kitsune to the party prior to this?
No, only Bix knows.
Excellent. Eckhard and then a
Bix
Fox
is staying
Person
quiet.
approaches you. The weasel, Polly, looks really excited, his tail's wagging as Mikhael approaches.
Why are you wearing Bob Humanskin's clothes? No, I was joking. Who the fuck is this?
Good morning. I assume you all are Robert's friends?
Yeah, we know
Friend
him.
might be pushing it a little far.
I do a head count of the table and go, there is one missing? Yes?
No?
No? I was told there would be a human lady, but very well. My good friend Robert Humansson sent me to give you all a tour of Varnhold. I was told that you are new to the city.
Just arrived yesterday.
Yes, very good. And enjoyed your first night, I hope?
It was well enough. Why isn't Robert here himself?
Oh, he had business to attend to, I am afraid, but he was it was so important to give you all your tour that he had promised that he sent me instead.
It makes sense that the animal person would be the human slave.
That is totally uncalled for. I am being paid for this, so you need not worry.
Servant, of course. My apologies.
A professional tour guide, yes.
Bix is losing his shit. Very quietly losing his shit.
Right. I will. I
Eckhart's
will
probably paying most of his attention to his plate at this point still, but
yes, I will sit down and start having my sausage
Mhm.
while kind of looking around. Perhaps you would like to introduce yourselves, or
He told you how many of us there were, but didn't tell you our names.
there was not much time, as I said, he had urgent business to attend to.
But he gave you
Yes.
specific descriptions of a human lady who you noticed
Well,
was
I,
missing.
I had to find you somehow. Is that not right? Is something
I mean,
wrong?
most people would give each other their names, like, "Hey, go find these people. Here are their names."
That is not the way Robert Humanson does it. You would
Well.
perhaps prefer to simply tell me your name, or is it a trade secret of some sort?
Yes, we groomsmen are very secretive about our names.
All right, I will call you Human Man then.
Nah, Fox, dude, I'm just giving you the gears. All right, I'm Ben Wavar. Ben Wavar Hollow Ranch. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mikhael. I don't know if I've mentioned it. It's me, Mikhael. And
Me,
and
Mikhael?
you? No, just Mikhael.
Just Mikhael.
Yes,
all right, just
Mikhael.
Mikhael. I'm Eckhard Gerst, representative Abadar in this town, or one of them.
Very well.
I'm-
Very well.
Hi, Mikhael. I'm Bix. We've been friends for years.
Yes, I recognize you, Bix. No need to introduce yourself. I see you have already made good friends on your first day. You two, yes?
Yeah, they're interesting.
And
You sure
this
did eat breakfast with us.
this other human woman lady is not.
There is no
coming
human
with?
woman. I don't know what you're talking about.
His sister isn't here.
I questioningly look at the other two.
I haven't seen her.
But she exists. Robert Humanson is not
Oh, you mean my
crazy.
sister? Oh yeah, she went off to do some shopping on her own.
The front door of the inn slams open, and stepping in, there is a overly dressed, extravagant-looking gentleman. And those that are native or at least live here in the town of Varnhold would recognize this man, would recognize him. He is a local playboy, wizard, fanciful kind of gentleman by the name of Hermand. They call him Hermy. Breadvo, excuse me, Breadvo. And he walks in and says, "Fear not, I have arrived!" And the party can begin. And you see Sigbert lean in and says, "It's 9 a.m. There's no party. You're very early." And the man looks disappointed. But as he scans the room, he sees the table, all of you sitting at the table. He looks disappointed as he goes one by one, and then he locks eyes on the redhead sitting at the table, the little booth. And you see him straighten himself up. Perfect, Sigbert. I take care of it. Not a problem. There's something else that requires my immediate attention. And he's going to make his way over to the woman sitting at the booth.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Yeah.
Ben
I
like
will
moves his
position
plate
myself.
aside,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
leans forward.
We all turn to take a look at the.
As he
at the train
walks
wreck.
over, he walks past once, just kind of like pivoting so that she gets a
Peacocking,
plain
yeah.
view of him. Walks
Classic movie.
past. She says nothing, just very offhandedly looks over at him, and then goes back to. She's got a little journal that she appears to be writing in. And then he stops as he gets all the way past. He slows down. And then he backs up 2 steps and then pivots to her and says, "Oh, hello there. I didn't realize someone was sitting at his booth. Perhaps I can join you." And she says, "Get fucked." And he looks shocked, but also incredibly intrigued. "Oh, I mean, that is the plan." Ah. Her eyes narrow, and she looks up at him. "I will gild you where you stand. Leave me alone. I need you all to roll me a D100. First person to do it, please. You want to roll low.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
so disappointed.
all right. He takes a step back. Oh, forgive me, madam. I meant no disrespect.
Ven stands up and walks over and is like, I'm sorry, you gotta forgive my brother. He sometimes has these episodes where he forgets where he is. But you know what? Honestly,
Yes.
he didn't mean any offense.
No.
He just thought you were very pretty, which you are.
Yes.
And he forgot his place.
Oh, yes.
So he's
Please.
just gonna come back to our table.
Forgotten.
Please enjoy your breakfast. You know what? He'll take care of it. And
Yes, I will
we'll
pay
make
for it.
sure that.
Yes.
And you know, there's no need to get for there
Okay.
to be an episode here.
No,
And then
it's fine.
Ben wraps his hand around the guy and goes,
Yes.
"All right, buddy, come on, come back to our table."
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Right. And he's like stumbling the whole time as he gets over, and then he sits down, and he looks like a man that is shell shocked, like he's just come out of war. I mean, he is completely beside himself. Just the color is drained from his face. He sets both of his hands on the table in front of him as though trying to steady himself. No one is.
That might have been the worst one yet
No
that
one
I've
has ever-
seen so far.
No one has ever talked to me like that.
Ben sits down and like pats him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, buddy,
Yes.
man, rejection. I hear you. Rejection is hard.
But I don't get. I
But
don't get
occasionally-
rejected. I don't. I'm not.
Occasionally, you bite off more than you can chew."
No, it's. I
and,
don't. You don't understand. I'm Hermie. I'm
oh, Hermie, I'm
Redvo.
Ven.
No, you don't understand. No one. I don't get rejected.
And I can see why, friend.
He slowly
I don't
looks
think she's
over
interested.
towards her. And he looks back to you, and please continue, Brian.
Listen, man, I can see that looking the way you do and wearing the clothes you do and having the attitude you do, you probably don't get rejected very much. But she's in a league of her own,
No.
and that league is not yours.
No, you don't
It's-
understand.
Hey, it's cool. I don't even think he's I don't even think she's like fully a she. I don't know. I don't know. The horse was kind of vague about it.
Sorry, what?
There's a horse.
What?
Oh, yeah, the horse. I was talking to her horse. There was some sort of murder.
Bix, have we not talked about the way you handle human interaction and normal people interaction? We are not animals, and maybe you should explain yourself more so we understand.
Somebody
what on
murdered a
earth you're
horse?
talking about.
No.
Hermie,
Okay.
hey, hold that thought, buddy. Here, have a glass of water. And Ven slides the water in front of him, then leans forward, is like, "Bix, somebody murdered a horse?"
No. So the horse, her
Well,
horse.
technically,
well,
that'd be killing.
the horse
Unless
that
the
she
horse
rode
did
in
it.
on. No. Do people listen to me?
Trying very hard, but
Polly squeaks in like in righteous anger as well. Look, the horse that she rode in on, they rode in on, I don't know. Told me that his rider had died and that was a terrible rider. And I saw her come in. She didn't know too much about horses.
Ven casts detect magic. And
There
then,
is
like,
so you're just actively casting detect magic. Is that correct?
I mean, I have my back to her, so I'll do the cast in front of me. I just
Okay.
need to do the somatic gesture.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna like look back, real casual, and then turn back to the table.
Transmutation. So you have enough time to focus. Get it? Transmutation, enchantment, abjuration, and something else that you don't recognize.
So Ven puts his hand, I assume that I'm sitting across from Eckhard. Ven puts his hand on Eckhard's like arm that is not actively shoveling food in his mouth and goes, "She is very magic."
How much of it do you think's casted effects? How much of it do you think's items?
Some of them are pretty personal effects, and there's one I can't even identify. So I'm gonna say probably less item, more personal.
Probably best to avoid a direct confrontation if it comes down to it then.
So
Agreed.
the horse was right.
Could you talk to the horse again, Vix?
Probably. Honestly, I think she cast a spell at me.
No. All right, everybody. Well, how about we all casually move to the stables? I'll go first, and then I'll meet you all there. Maybe we find out exactly what the horse knows.
Is there a reason we are investigating said weird lady?
She almost hurt our friend Hermie here.
I would say a friend is pushing it, like you said.
Hermie
Jeez.
is
Mikhael,
half
if we're
listening.
friends, I'm at least friends with her. Then I'm definitely friends with Hermie.
He's half listening to the conversation and just with one eye looking at the woman who is still intently writing in her journal. The other eye, it's kind of like cross-eyed, looking over at you all. He says, "Do any of you know her name?"
No.
No.
You, a fox person. I don't remember your name. We've met several times, but it doesn't matter. Could you go over and ask her name?
No, Herman, I do not offer this advice lightly, and not very often.
Oh my God, I've got this.
Dream smaller.
Ven's like, I gotta go to the stable anyway. So he stands up, walks over to the lady, and goes, "Hi, listen, I know that you didn't want to be interrupted. We need to tell the bartender whose bill Hermie's gonna pay. So if you could just give me your name, so I can tell him whose bill we're paying, that'd be great. And then we will leave you in peace for the rest of the day."
Eckhard goes ahead and slips out during this distraction.
The
Yes,
woman
wonderful.
is writing. What languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic, and
Common.
Sylvan.
She's writing in Sylvan.
Ooh.
Actually writing in Sylvan.
Very casually, Ven will like look at what she's writing, but he's making a distinct effort to not like seem too suspicious. He's obviously just like, "Hey, I'm still very apologetic. Hi, sorry to bother you again. Just want to get your name so we can tell the bartender or to the innkeeper who we're paying for, and then we're gonna leave now. So we just want to settle up."
She looks up, noticing that what she's writing is very out in the open. The only thing you catch is not in, there's like, she's writing the end of a sentence. She was not in Tatzelford. And then she closes the journal, not with a slam, but a very quick kind of thump. And she leans back. And as she leans back, she brings her hand up to her lips and just kind of traces them ever so slightly. And she looks at you. And there is that kind of bluish glow that you'd recognize as detecting of magic as well. And she looks at you for a moment.
I'm like so not magical. It's great.
Interesting. My name. You know, there's a lot of power in a name. How about you give me yours first? And she takes the hand that was tracing her lips and goes to, like, lightly touch your forearm.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Marshall Stevens. I'm a groom, not at this inn, at another. I was actually working for a caravan, but there was a explosion in the past, and so actually I'm kind of out of a job. I hear that you were looking for somebody to take care of your horse, actually. So if you're, hey, I'm staying here for the immediate future. So Marshall Stevens, that's who I am. I'm a groom. Again, we just want to settle up. Hermie is again very sorry for interrupting you.
There's a black steed inside of the stable. Tend to him, and there are 4 gold pieces for you.
Oh, wow, that's, you know what? Thank you. That's amazing. Again, just real quick, want to get your name so I can tell the bartender, and then you know what? I can just head out and take care of your horse for you. That'd be great.
Tend to the horse. names afterwards.
Sure. Again, Marshall Stevens. I'll be out in the stable then.
She watches you. There's almost a hungry look in her eyes as she watches you walk out the door. Mikhael and Bix, what are y'all doing?
I'm going to finish my sausage. Not suspiciously, just sit there
Just
and
eat your sausage.
finish eating my sausage, and then like I don't know, head back to my room. It's in the stables. It's not weird for me to go there.
Eckhard, you have exited out the front, so I'm gonna let those two. This is all happening simultaneously. There was that back and forth. You've had a few moments. Did you head straight to the stables, Eckhard? Were you just milling about on the porch for a moment? What would you be doing?
Yeah, he'd head to the stables and check in on his own horse.
Okay. As you pivot outside, you head to the stables. You get a good view of the streets. The streets are moderately busy for this time of day, but there's an increased number of guards, more than you would expect in a relatively peaceful town like Varnhold. The guards are a mixture of Varnholdian, or Varnhold guards, with their chainmail and kind of greens and purple colored, like striped tabards, things like that. And then there is a large number of musketeers as well, and they're wearing their musketeer clothing. They have muskets on their shoulders. Some of them are carrying pistols, and they're patrolling about. It is not a aggressive. Well, yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so seeing that, Eckhard would immediately approach one of the musketeers and say, "There's a woman with red hair, reeking of magic, looking for your boss."
Boss? Dawkins. Yes, he's in command.
There's a woman with red hair, reeking of magic, looking for your boss in this tavern here. I'm going to go back and do what I'm going to do. Just let him know.
Did she say why?
No, I just know she's reeking of magic.
The two of them look at each other and look maybe a little confused. And then the one on the left, a younger looking man, says, "Well, we should go tell Dawkins." "Well, no shit, we should go tell Dawkins. You go tell him. I'm on patrol. We're both supposed to be patrolling. Just go tell Dawkins." And
Eckhard does a fade. He's backing away already.
He pivots. One of them starts jogging off towards the gate that is on the west side, or this larger main gate on the west side, and he heads off towards it. There's like a gatehouse there. And you head off into the stables. And as you get into near the entrance of the stables, I'm gonna have you make another perception check, please.
I am perfectly adequate at those.
Hey.
22. The stables are quiet. And when I say quiet, I mean there should be some sort of noise. Maybe the breathing of horses, the clippy clopping of hooves. They're awkwardly quiet.
Magically quiet, like no sound penetrating, or
You
just
can only
not
hear
a lot of
just a slight breeze that is
Okay.
flowing through the city, but there is no sound of animals. Just it's quiet.
Are like can I like see down the line of stables? Are there any horses poking out? Like, are there animals in there?
You don't see anything as you look through kind of the slit between the barn doors.
Then Eckhard will hold up and wait for at least one other person to get there before he steps inside.
Okay, perfect.
Something's prickling his danger sense.
Okay, very good. And the others inside, are you heading off to the stables now? Are you milling about for a few more moments? What's the battle plan?
Since Eckhard went out first and Van was still busy for a bit, I'm gonna take this opportunity to, as we're walking out with Bix, presumably, I'm gonna like have a few words with him, nonchalant, but making sure no one's listening in.
Are you leaving Hermond by himself in the
Yes, I don't
He
care
is
about her.
still anxiously sitting at the table and watching the woman with the red hair
He'll be
do
fine.
her thing.
In which case, when Ben turns around and he's the only one left, Ben will collect him, be like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna. It's time for us to go.
No,
Don't forget that you need to settle up with the innkeeper."
I think I love her.
Um,
she's
She's so
Yep.
beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Keep that to yourself, buddy. And we're gonna go outside and we'll talk about that
Yes.
right away.
Very
Don't.
good. Oh yes. Oh, I must prepare for tonight's festivities. Yes, of course. Thank you. I never got your name. Nice. Of course,
Ven.
you know who I am.
Ven,
Ven.
buddy.
Ven, it's a pleasure to make you acquaintance. Yes, very good.
Oh, sorry, Marshall. Marshall. Sorry, my name is Marshall. I always forget.
Ven Marshall. Ven Marshall.
Actually, Ven is just a nickname.
Oh.
I go by Marshall. It's Marshall Stevens.
Pleasure.
The
Marshall Stevens, to meet you, yes.
Ven and Stevens is why.
Ah, yes, of course. Delightful. Did you get her name?
Actually, I didn't, but I did get an in with her. I'm gonna take her to a horse, and maybe she can tell me later. So you come back by the inn later, and maybe I can hook you up.
Yes.
Maybe you toss a couple gold my way.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. Anything you need, just give me her name. You are a good boy.
Sure.
And he
I
pats
got
you on the
buddy.
head very condescendingly.
Then clearly like, yep, cool, awesome. Then he just leaves him in there and heads out to the stables.
Excellent.
Reward of being a good guy.
And you guys all make your way out to the stables. And I'm going to go ahead and pivot you
my
over.
talk with Bix first.
Yep, you can have your talk with Bix before you leave the porch. But I'm going to pivot you over to a more different map. And we're going to zoom in just a little bit. And skedongle. All right, you guys are on the porch. Bix, Paulie is milling about there. Then you've made your way over to the stables, which are just off to the left-hand side here. And go ahead, have your conversation.
All right, Bix, real quick. Listen.
Yeah.
Things are
What's up?
there are weird things happening. More so
yeah.
than yes, I am aware.
Mm.
Look, there is a small, tiny, really tiny fairy dragon that might be showing up somewhere. So keep an eye out and let me know if you see it.
Would I know about this fairy dragon? Like,
Knowledge local, knowledge nobility, either one. In the lands of Solaria, friendly fey creatures like fairy dragons, relatively common.
Okay.
You've probably had your run-in with them. You are of the first world as well, at least partially, as a gnome. So,
did you get his name? Was he cool?
No, it didn't like me very much. I do not get why. Frankly, I was very friendly after the first few minutes. So,
did you do the torture thing again?
I did. No,
It doesn't make you friends.
It had to be done. It was very. It works on many people.
You know how much the Fae hate that.
Well, it started it. So.
Yeah, it's Fae. They always start it. We always start it.
I'm not having this conversation again.
Okay, fine. All right.
It wants something from me, so it might be back.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes out. You said you didn't get his name?
No. What?
All right,
they
well,
rarely give you their name. You should know this.
Yeah, we give like little bits.
It told me that it used to be the familiar of the Magister, Muriel.
Bix like stops on his way to stomp down the stairs. What?
See, sometimes the switchblade does work, doesn't it?
Do we even have time for this right now?
I've got to
go. We've got to go talk to a horse.
I know. Well, let's go do that now. Just keep an eye out.
All right, come on, Polly.
As people start approaching Eckhard, he'd hold a finger up, kind of to his lips, and whisper back. Stables are oddly quiet. I don't see any animals from the entrance.
As you mentioned that the stables are oddly quiet, you hear a groan as though a horse is in pain.
Oh, I run.
You're going to burst into the stables?
Yeah.
All right. As you burst into the stables, I need you to go ahead and do two things. Make a fortitude save
and simultaneously make a will save. Ouch. Ouch.
You said a fort
You slam open
and a will.
the door to the stables.
Oh, that was for Vin's, not Bix's.
Bix, there is a stench as you cross the threshold that smells like iron and viscera and a little bit of death, a small amount of decay. As you look inside of this barn, you see that the walls of it are covered in this kind of sickly, black-looking ichor and muck. And where the horses are, there is instead piles of just contorted and nasty looking, like the horses were almost turned inside out. Chewing its way through one of the sides of the horses, you see a giant looking maggot. Now with the will save, this image before you, it is like a slaughterhouse inside of this. You can see every one of the animals has been torn open asunder. And flying down from high in the barn's loft, you see a black as the night, like onyx fly with red wings. And you hear this as it rushes down towards you. And with that, we're going to take our quick 5 to 10 minute break. And when we return, you guys are going to get into your first combat. Those at home, stick around. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. And when we last left off, our intrepid adventurers, apparently there were some maggots and weird necrotic rot inside the stable, and the horses were apparently dead. Also, there's this giant necrotic-looking fly rushing down towards you. So we're going to go ahead, and we've actually already rolled initiative. Hashtag immersion ruin, because we didn't do it. But with that being said, first up in the initiative is this maggot. So to describe again the scene to you, there are just a massive number of these like maggots. And when I say massive number, I mean 3. But there's just massive sized maggots that have chewed their way out of several horses and beasts of burden. And then with this just cacophonous buzzing noise, this giant fly, which appears to be, its body appears to be made of more viscera and kind of rotten flesh that's just dangling off of it, is swooping down towards you. But this maggot off to the side, bursting out of one of the horses, just moves over 15 feet, just slithering, just along the floor, leaving this trail of greenish purple looking ichor behind it, and it moves all the way up next to Ben. As the maggot moves up, the giant fly begins to buzz even louder and louder. I need everyone within earshot, which is all of you, to make will saves, please. Ouch. 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 And where was Eckhard? Will 21. Eckhard! Great news, Eckhard. You are not confused. Everyone else, you are all confused for one round. Bix, roll a D100 for us, please. $97. You attack the nearest creature, which is either Eckhard or Ven. Yeah. What weapon are you wielding? I don't think you had any weapons out, so you would just punch it in with your fists. Excellent. Go ahead and make a melee attack roll at Ven. As in this moment, he appears to be a giant slug monster, and you really want to punch him. There's a 14 hit. Oh my lord. Roll me a D2 plus your strength modifier.
Oh, are we?
No, you're not.
I have no idea how to roll a D2.
Just 1d2. There, 1. What is your strength modifier?
At least 0.
Then you take 1 non-lethal damage as he punches you in the knee.
Ow.
He has a thing for knees. Next up is Mikhael. Roll us a d100.
53.
Hi, Sabrina.
53, which is... Deal 1d8 points plus strength modifier to yourself with item in hand. Are you wielding anything in this moment?
Nope.
Alright, go ahead and roll a d3 plus your strength modifier as you claw at your face.
3 minus
4.
1.
So you take 2 damage as you claw at your face, thinking that there are slugs and maybe, like, viscera on your face. You're trying to get it off. This giant maggot here is going to lunge forward and is going to go ahead and attack Bix with a 19. Holy crap. That is intense. And it is going to bite you, Bix. And Bix, you take 4 points of damage as it bites into you. And as it bites into you, you can feel it kind of like grapple onto you for a moment, and then you can feel a bit of like blood being drained out of you. And I need you to make a fortitude save, please. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. 2 points of con damage.
Jesus.
Next up, this other giant maggot is going to go for Ven. Oh my gosh!
Jesus.
Good game, everybody. 9 does not confirm. Does not confirm. Then you take 6 points of damage. I need you
Which
to
is
go ahead and
regular
make
damage.
just regular damage. I need you to make a fortitude save, please.
I also need me to make this fortitude save. Nope.
Okay. You have a hero point. Do you want to use it to reroll?
Oh yes, although that hasn't been classically particularly helpful to me. Here we go.
Boom, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. You take no con damage as you manage to push the maggot off before it drains any of your blood out of you. Polly the Weasel is up. What was Polly the Weasel's will save?
9.
All
12.
right.
It was
12?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
I need him to go ahead and roll a D100, please. $94. He attacks the nearest creature, which is the foxman next to him. Just make one attack roll with his primary attack. This is going so good, everybody. I'm like really excited. Remember how we said we could get 2 sessions in a row? Nah, good game, everybody. GG's.
Good game.
This is
Then
our
we
2
all
sessions of the campaign.
I'll just make a new guy.
You
Just put
take
2 by his name.
1 non-lethal damage, Mikhael.
Very well.
Eckhard, everyone around you is acting crazy, and you feel fine. But there's some weird bug monsters. What are you gonna do?
There really do be. Eckhard's gonna go ahead and cast his blessing on his weapon, give it the corrosive enchant, and he's gonna step into the, like diagonally into the barn. No, stable. That's the word. And I need to make 2 saves here, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna hit the button. It'll roll both of them. So just take both of these for what they are. Fort fail and will 15.
Okay, you are sickened for 1 round,
All right.
and the will 15, you are not frightened.
All right. Tab on my sickened, and that's all I've got for this round, I think.
Perfect. Then you are up. 2 things. Roll a d100.
Uh-huh.
48, which is, I believe, you babble incoherently. You babble incoherently, standing there, just feeling crazy.
Wasn't
Then
the
my
confusion
second
only
and
1
frightened
round?
go away, right?
Yep, your sickened and your frightened both go away at the same time. That is correct.
Cool.
This one here moves in and goes
nope.
to attack the gnome. And
I
rolls
thought
a
the
nat.
confusion.
Go ahead.
I thought the confusion was only 1 round. You said when it.
Everything
the
was
thing.
1 round. All of the
Yeah,
effects were
that
1
was
round.
my first. That
Yeah.
was my first round.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
The
yeah.
maggot kind of slithers forward and goes for Bix, rolling a nat 1. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll the maggot's attack. 18. Is 18 confirm, Bix?
Probably.
Because you have a 16 AC, so it does not confirm its crit miss. It just its maw opens and you see the like weird kind of like barbed teeth just squiggling at you. Now you're back to this necrotic fly, which flies around the side and disappears around the corner of the stable into the other wing of the stable. Fizz, you are back to feeling yourself and in complete control of your faculties. What do you do?
I'm going to attack the maggot in front of me.
18 for 3. That is a solid blow into the maggot. And as you crash down into the maggot, and it begins to writhe. And it begins to writhe. You can see it start to kind of balloon up. And it looks like it's about to explode. I need all 3 that are right there to give us reflex saves, please, as it explodes in front of you. 14 is good.
Oh my
3 is a fail.
You said will?
Fort. Excuse me, reflex.
Fort.
Reflex.
Reflex.
16, you're good. Then you take a full blow. Like, basically, they pull you in front of them to use you as a human shield. And you
Nice.
get the full bore of all of this nastiness, and you are once again sickened for another round. Mikhael, you're up.
I believe some guards were mentioned earlier this session that were hanging around outside here.
They're on patrol, man. They walked away. One of them ran over to get Dawkin.
Yeah, I'm gonna call over to them and be like, yo, there's monsters in the stables.
Guards are not present, unfortunately. There are
Very
no
well.
guards around you in this exact moment.
Well, I'm gonna call out anyway, because, you know, it's their job. And then I'm gonna 5-foot step here, move action, pull out my sling, and I'm gonna attempt an attack at this one.
I like it. I like it.
Misses.
He'll arrive in a few
That is
rounds.
all.
And goes wide. And next up is this other giant maggot who sees Ven and thinks to himself, delicious.
Oh God, thank God.
And it swings and goes wide. Polly the Weasel is up next.
All right. Polly is going to charge in.
I forgot how squishy I am.
He is going to bite the maggot in front of him.
I believe. 8, unfortunately, is a hit.
Really?
Yeah, these things don't have good AC at all.
Awesome.
That is 3 damage. Once again, the maggot begins to balloon up and then explodes. All 3 of you, Bix, Polly, and Ven, give us some reflex saves, please. You're good, Ven.
It's not. Oh no, I'm sickened. Never mind.
You're good, Polly. And Bix. Ooh, Bix, you are sickened for 1 round as the viscera and the ick hits you. Eckhard, you're up next.
All right. Eckhard's going to go ahead and step on around to here. Go ahead and throw me a dock of opportunity if it gets one.
Nope.
All right. Does Vin have anything in his hand to threaten this creature with?
No. Oh yeah,
All
no,
right,
sorry, that's not true. I do have my my lantern my lantern staff.
Excellent. So I get flanking. 4 to attack with sickened and 1 to damage. And that's probably a miss.
6, unfortunately, is a miss.
Happens
Damn.
on a 2.
Van, you're up next.
I 5-foot step to get away from that thing. And then I cast I think I'm just gonna Ray of Frost it, except it's actually a Ray of Fire because I can do that.
Okay.
Which is range touch.
That is a hit.
Excellent. In which case, it takes a D3 plus 1, I think, because I get to. Yeah, so it takes fire damage. It's going to take a D3 plus 1.
Perfect.
Or 2 points of fire damage.
Perfect. It begins to writhe and bubble. And Eckhard, condolences. Go ahead and make a reflex save, please.
Untouchable.
Oh my lord, you just jump right back, right out of the way, and nothing hits you at all. The buzzing from this creature that is off this, like, necrotic fly intensifies around the corner. And Eckhard, you can just barely make out a glowing runic circle that it seems to have been inscribed or etched into the floor of the other wing of this stable. And where the creature was, you see a large pile on top of this runic circle, and just underneath the fly of what appears to be eggs.
Oh God.
Fitz, you're up
Gross.
next.
He's around the corner. I can't see him, right?
Correct.
You can hear the buzzing, so we know where
Hear
it
the
is.
buzzing, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take. I can't see him with a 5 foot, right? I'm sorry, I can't quite see through the.
No, you
No,
wouldn't be
there's
able to
a-
see him. You'd have to move to about right here,
Okay.
just in front of Eckhard.
So that's 5, 10, 15. Yeah. Anyways, I did take a movement. All right. I'll be pulling my bow while I'm doing that, and I'll take a pot shot at him.
Perfect. "13 is unfortunately, a hit for him as the arrow strikes him in the backside.
Hi, Sabrina. Is this what we're doing right now?
The buzzing once again intensifies, and you watch as all of the little eggs begin to look like they're starting to crack open. Mikhael, from the street, down the ways, little ways, you see the man who you had spoken to as you got back into the city, and then you see 3 guards with him as well, and they are rushing towards you very quickly.
Huh. I'm pretty sure I recognize that token. Yeah, that is. Should I make a
It's
knowledge
Dawkin.
local?
You recognize
Yeah,
Dawkin.
okay.
Yep, it's
Okay,
Dawkin.
cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna, since they're coming, I'm gonna point at this part of the stable where I saw the fly towards. I assume there's no windows here that I can see it through, right?
Unfortunately not.
Um,
You gotta make it that easy for you? Come on.
Of course not. Well, I guess I will probably move here and just take the total defense action for now.
Perfect.
I don't want to go inside there.
Polly the Weasel.
Polly. I'm gonna tell Polly to heal. I don't want him running in there. I don't know what that thing is gonna do, and I don't want it to do it to him.
Okay. Eckhard.
Into 5 foot step down and draw
Sabrina.
his crossbow.
Ma'am.
And, attempt to shoot the thing. I probably have a crossbow macro here, but also I can just do that.
That is a hit for 7 damage.
Ooh.
The crossbow bolt literally goes right through its midsection, and you watch as its buzzing of its wings seems to lessen. It's not quite as intense as it was prior, and it sinks down a little bit. It was about 10 feet off the ground, now it's only 5 feet. And then it spins around, and instead of the face of a giant fly, you see the face of a diseased man, as though he has like rotten flesh and he's suffering from some sort of flesh-eating bacteria. And he opens his mouth and just screams at you. The fly collapses to the ground, hitting all of the eggs, which burst, and this noxious kind of gas begins to rise up and very quickly starts to fill the room. Ven, you're up next.
Well, Ven is unfamiliar with any situation that can't be solved with fire, so Ven runs through here, diving over the head of the gnome, and whoops. This is what I meant to do. and then chucks a fire snowball.
Go for it.
Fireball.
What are you chucking
No.
it at?
The pile of eggs.
Okay, perfect.
So I conjure a ball of packed ice and snow, but I have the ability to make the damage type fire. So it's essentially fiery packed ice and snow. And I throw it at a single target as a ranged touch attack, so I'll throw it at that thing with a ranged touch.
Okay. And looks good.
It takes a d6 of cold damage per caster level, but because I'm
Roll a
an elemental
D6.
sorcerer, I can make it fire damage, and because I'm a Emberkin, I get to add +1, so it's a d6 +1. Um,
5.
so 5 fire damage.
The eggs burst into flame, and you hear this. They all start to pop, as though you have lit a very similar to the. If you remember last session, the gunpowder as it ignited and just very quickly ran along the path of the gunpowder. It is just like that, and in an instant, no more than 2 seconds, all of the eggs have burst into flame and then gone out. But that noxious gas and air seems to hang in the air for a moment. And as that noxious gas and air hangs there, we're actually going to go ahead and actually drop out of initiative. The viscera, the filth, all of this strangeness is... It starts to kind of dissipate, almost evaporate around you. And you do see that several of the horses are dead, but Eckhard, you notice that your mighty steed is, surprisingly, not here.
Well,
What about the
was
black
about to
steed
say,
that I'm
are-
supposed to take care of?
That one is at the center of this. Like, she maybe
And-
told you where it was. Bix, you would recognize. Your little bed is
Yeah.
right over here, and the black steed is right in the center of where this stuff was.
So is it dead?
Yes.
It is the
Ah.
deadest,
The most dead.
the most dead of all of them.
Well, Ven's like, well, I guess I can kiss that gold goodbye.
Rushing around the corner, you see several musketeers,
He was a
and
terrible
guards,
conversationalist, anyways.
accompanied by Dawkin. Dawkin pushes to the forefront, looks at Mikhael. What is going on here? What's happened? What Dear
Sir
God, what-
Musketeer, there were
did you
monsters.
just murder these
and-
horses? Explain yourself.
I point to the giant maggots on the like the viscera of the giant maggots.
Interestingly
remains.
enough, evaporated away.
Of
All
course
that
they
is
did.
inside is dead horses, a lot of blood, and that weird purple and green smoke.
Sir Musketeer, there were giant maggot monsters and the weird monster fly that was laying eggs or something. I just go inside and please sort this out. Is what
Can
I'm
we
gonna say.
inside the building hear that?
Yes.
Ven immediately starts to prestidigitate all the muck off himself so that he looks clean, so they can be like, "Oh no, we just came in here," so that he's not covered in any of the viscera or gore.
does he communicate his line of thinking?
Yes.
Eckhard says, "I'm not going to lie to a city official."
Well, then shut up.
I mean, I can submit to truth-telling magic and give him an interview in the morning, and we can tell him that we didn't do anything.
Sure, but for the moment, let me tell you, city officials don't tend to look kindly on horse murders, and we can't prove this wasn't us. So,
We can with truth-telling magic.
I will get out of the way of the musketeers.
And they move around, and one of them actually takes you by like the upper arm and grabs onto it, not forcefully, but just stay here.
Then
Yeah,
moves to the front and finishes prestidigitating himself, and then steps out and oh, thank God you're here. Oh, we just completed a combat with giant insects. It was terrible. Luckily, this cleric of Abadar saved us. with his crossbow. You'll find that there's still some remnants in the other room of the bugs. There's like some noxious gas too. The horse I was supposed to take care of, I'm a groomsman here, is of course they're all almost all dead. There's still one horse still, that is missing, I think. Wait, I don't know that.
Perception checks, please.
Oh, wow.
Eckhard, you hear a young boy's voice saying, "Horse for sale! Horse for sale! Nice stores for sale!" Yeah,
Eckhard
it's
tilts his head.
It's Perry. He's leading a horse along.
Can I discreetly signal to him to just get the fuck out?
Perry doesn't seem to notice you as a prospective buyer of the horse has approached him.
Well, all right, Perry. I tried.
Can Eckhard push through the guards? Are they trying to stop him?
Oh
They
my
are
God.
stopping him, yes. Just hold on. This is Dawkins speaking. You're to tell me that there were giant maggots, but they're not here anymore. And that... What the hell is that? He looks back at the two musketeers next to him, looks back over at the smoke. What did you do in here? What is that?
What are they gesturing at?
The purple and green smoke emanating from the ground.
Came out of the eggs under the fly we shot. I'm not sure anything else other than that.
And where is this fly? Where are these eggs?
When I shot it, it fell into the eggs, but I'm not sure what happened to it then. I'm assuming it's illusory magic of some sort. I've never seen anything that convincing before, though.
Oh, you are... Sense motive check on Dawkins right now. Beautiful. Then Dawkins is completely out of his element right now, and you know he's just winging it. And he's trying to put on an air of superior, of confidence, authority, but he is...
Ven steps forward and is like, "Sir, you have to believe me. I'm a groomsman. I work with the horses here. This man is just retrieving his horse, and we found insects in here. You'll see there's some piles of gore here and here. In fact, I hear someone outside selling a horse, I believe. And since there is a horse missing from the stables, as we counted them earlier, perhaps you would let the cleric of Abadar investigate. You'll know where to find him. There is a mint in town where, of course, the Abadarians live, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are staying here at the inn, yes?
I am, yes.
So yeah, you'll know where to find him. We can ensure that he doesn't leave town if you'd like, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yes, that you all stay by the inn. I will have questions for you later. Guards, men, section off this area, block it off, make sure no one else comes in here, and call for... And you see him go to say a name, and he goes to say the... Then he stops himself. Go and tell her what we've discovered here. Maybe she knows what's happening. And then stops himself.
Also, I do presume that you are Dawkins, sir?
Yes, I am.
You should be warned that there's a woman inside the building whose horse was also in this stable, and she was asking about you. But I can tell you, based on the word of this cleric, that she is covered in magic, some transmutation, and some other magic that he could not identify. I just heard him talking about it when he was coming to get his horse.
Daniel, inside. Locate the woman. Take her into custody. And one of the guards zips off, heads in through the door, and he looks at the four of you inside, including the weasel. Just stay close by. I'm going to have questions for you.
Oh, of course, but perhaps you could recommend some place where I could have this wound treated. And there's a giant maggot pierce mark in his leg. It's like,
Dawkins grimaces and looks to Eckhard.
Eckhard, torn between what he assumes is his horse being sold and the person who aided him in battle turns back dutifully and
You
spontaneously
get a
casts Cure
brief
Light
glimpse
Wounds.
of your horse. You see the bridle being handed to a man. The
Oh.
man looks like this, and Perry is counting a small change purse of coins.
You get 4 healing.
Perry looks over at Mikhael. Mikhael gives him a little whoop. Goggles back on, and then zips
And-
away.
And he says to Vin at this point, and due to your service and protecting the city and our companions' lives, this is obviously free of charge, as the Abadarian scriptures command.
Oh, well, my thanks, Eckhard. Right back at you, buddy. Then
And
he
he's gonna-
leads to Doc and like, does that mean he's going to charge me another time? Do you know anything about Abadarian
I am not
religion?
one of the faith, but they are trustworthy. He looks to
Eckhard
Eckhard
now tries to go around the corner.
and you see the man trying to mount the horse.
Does
Ew.
it have like my saddle
Right
on
in
it?
public?
Oh
Those
yeah,
saddlebags?
it's your horse. 100% your horse.
Okay. He's gonna
Dawkins
approach.
tries to talk to Eckhard, but Eckhard is gone. And the
No,
man
Eckhard's
is like,
gone.
he's up on the saddle now and is like readying himself and is going
He'll
to pull
grab
the horse
grab
away.
the reins. This is my
Excuse
horse,
me.
sir.
No, I just purchased this horse. It's my horse.
You may have purchased a stolen horse. That doesn't make it your horse.
What do you mean the horse is stolen?
Horse belongs in that stable. It's my horse. The innkeeper will tell you so.
What the? And he looks in the direction of the boy, and looks down at you, and then there's like a click in his head. You can just see him, like, realization.
Best of luck.
No one would sell a horse for 10 gold. Damn it. And he dismounts, starts to
Godspeed.
run in that direction.
He'll walk his horse back over and let the rest of the RP resume.
I'm having second thoughts about a decision I made in the other game right now.
All right. And Dawkins
kids
approaches Eckhard. You are a priest of Abadar. I assume you are here with the mint, correct?
Part of the faith militant, yes.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that I can trust your word as truth.
If you cannot, I can submit to truth-telling magic in the morning when I'm able to cast it.
He raises a hand. I don't believe that'll be necessary. Specifically, what transpired here? Is everything that the stable boy said true?
As far as the events go, yes.
I need you to do something for me, if you would. I need you to take...
That's what it is.
I need you to take a letter to the high priest at the mint. And he takes a small piece of parchment from one of his inside pockets, pulls it out. He pulls out a quill that, no ink, but as he begins to write, it starts to write. Obviously some sort of magical
wow.
quill.
I want one.
Signs it, rolls it up, and with the other end of the quill, he taps the scroll where the paper ends and meets its side, and a small little wax seal appears on it. And then he hands it to you. Deliver that to her, and thank you for, I suppose, whatever took place here. Likely lives were saved.
I think I did the least of all of us. If you could arrange a physician to stop by for the 2 that are still injured.
Things are a bit uneasy here in Varnhold right now, but
And we don't need a cleric, just a nurse or a physician.
Of course. And he is going to move in, and him and his men are going to be investigating, but they're going to allow everyone else to leave. Mikhael, you are released, and the man from inside returns, goes over to Dawkins, and you all overhear him say, "There was no woman inside. Sigbert mentioned that she was there, and then a moment later she was gone." And Dawkins says, "Do you mean she disappeared? Isn't that fucking convenient?" And with that, you are all able to depart away from the scene, and I'm really just going to pass it over to you. What would you guys be doing after that?
I could look to the others and say, well, you heard my instructions. There may be a physician available at the mint, but I can't guarantee that. There'll be clerics there at the very least, but they may expect you to pay for healing despite having aided me. Though I do need to deliver this letter regardless. It's only a few blocks away.
Accustomed to having wounds, Ven just like wraps a cloth around, ties it tight so it's not going to bleed. What's left of his wound won't bleed much anymore, and is like, nah, I'll stick with you.
Yeah, well, I can cast Cure Light also if you need more healing. I need
I'm only
healing
missing
too.
2 hit points, so
Okay, well then I'm gonna cast it on myself.
So if I understood this correctly, this woman told you to go look after her horse in the stable, and the moment we enter, this whole situation has happened, seemingly centered around her horse. And the same moment, the woman disappears.
yeah, I think I've made an enemy. And Ven cracks his neck, both sides.
I shrug and go, I try to keep you from doing such things, but well, good luck from now on.
Perception checks, everyone, please. There it is. Mikhael,
Eckhard's
those
mortality
fox
is
ears.
showing.
Mikhael, as you are scolding Ven, you hear from really every direction. You start to hear these screams, shouts, cries, and they start to kind of rise up from different parts of the city, one after another. These cries, here and there and everywhere. A moment later, the alarm bells and the garrison go off. Dong, dong, dong. And you see guards moving, civilians, citizens running to their homes, shop doors being closed. Dong,
Oh, son of a
dong,
bitch. I cast Mage Armor.
dong.
I need to go to the Mint. If you want to come with me, come with me. It'll be your best chance at healing and defense. Short of the garrison, but they're going to look after their own.
Roll, come on, Polly.
Very well. I do not like the sound of this.
Eckhard will swing onto his horse and start riding off at, probably a canter, just so they can keep up on foot, but not slowly.
You begin to run off at this canter. As you run off at this canter, you watch as it's about 10 a.m. in the morning. The sun should be not high in the sky, but a decent ways up. The sky begins to blacken as these dark clouds begin to roll in, and there's a crackle of thunder. You start to get closer and closer to the Mint. As you get closer and closer to the Mint, you see the streets become more and more abandoned. The only thing you see is the occasional guard here and there. But as you get closer to the Mint, you start to see these shadowy figures, these shadowy shapes in the corners of your eyes. And you start to hear more of those cries, more of those shouts. And then you do make it to the door of the Mint.
Oh, please let the banker be here. She was out only a couple hours ago.
As you get to the door of the Mint, it is slightly ajar.
Shit. He'll tie his horse off to the, like a light pole on the steps. And given that the door shouldn't be open, draw his weapon and approach inside cautiously.
What have I told you, Sarah? Close the door. You're letting the cold air in. It's about to rain. I'm sorry, madam. I'm going to close it. Why is the bell ringing? How should I know? It's cross-stitching hour.
Eckhard, lets out a sigh of relief. His shoulders relax, and he puts his hammer or his pick back through his, the belt ring.
Mm-hmm.
He steps inside, saying, "Good to see you." Pats the kid on the head and steps through to the high priest.
Sarah lunges at you and wraps her arms around your leg and holds on tight. Please never leave me again. Please never leave me again. He made me
not my
cross-stitch.
choice. The city's under attack.
What? Oh,
Oh, does this mean we get to tax master? Wait, no. Do I need a weapon? I have a knife. Wait, and she like draws a tiny dagger.
Put that away.
Okay.
You're going to stay here. And he approaches the high priest, assuming she's in sight.
She's sitting at her desk again. You see she's using some of those sliding scales, like the numeral counters.
Abacus?
The abacus, thank you. She's using one of those to count. Oh, yes. Oh, hello, Eckhard. Good to see you again.
Steps up, does a religious gesture of obeisance, offers the rolled scroll. From the captain of the musketeers, the city appears to be under attack. I have no idea what he said to you.
Oh dear. Rolls it up. Slaps it in.
He kind of looks like expecting kind of some kind of an update, and just stands there expectantly.
Well, it appears you are to be called to service, Eckhard.
All right.
There is a door behind her that slowly creeps open. And as it slowly creeps open, a woman steps out.
Do you have red hair and headband?
You guys would maybe recognize her. And as she steps out, she appears to be perhaps elven or half-elven. It's hard to tell. And she's not dressed in very regal clothing, but you see she has a wedding ring on her finger. You see that she has a hood pulled up, and the high priest, this elderly woman, looks back over her shoulder at her. And for some reason, I can't find her token. So give me 1 second as... there it is. Well, I don't have her token, but I do have a token somewhere. I'm just going to drag her onto the map. You see this woman. And you would recognize her as the Queen of Solaria. She looks at all of you, and she looks at the High Priestess. Are you sure they can be trusted? And the old woman looks to Eckhard. Well, are they with you?
If you need them.
She looks back at the Queen. The Queen looks at all of you. I will. Now, first and foremost, we must regain control of this city. And with that, that is actually where we are going to end today's session. So, good stuff.
Oh shit, something's happening. We have no idea what.
All right,
Probably
gentlemen.
bad.
Gentlemen. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the sky turning black seems a bit above our pay grade.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge above our pay grade, yeah.
Good news, everybody. I thought y'all did a fantastic job tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys level 2. Because I think you definitely deserve it. Two great sessions of RP. Love the interactions. Y'all almost died in that first fight. I feel like maybe a couple extra hit points will be great. Now, as far as HP goes, I do let you guys roll until you get at least half of your hit die. So example being, if it's a D8, roll until you at least get a 4. If you get anything less, continue to roll until you get higher than that.
I got a 7.
That is perfect.
Hey, you got a 6.
And great job, everybody. To those that stopped in to watch, thank you so much. Super excited that I only had them muted for about 30 seconds during the second half here. So I'd say that's a significant upgrade than last time. And you will see these fine gentlemen, barring ends of the world or the skies turning black, you will see them back here next week. But until then, I wish everyone happy, safe, beautiful weeks. And as I like to say, happy gaming. Be well, everybody. Cheers.